Self-fulfillment and awareness goes hand in hand. It's all about satisfying your mental and spiritual being. Not everyone is interested in their mental and spiritual development, but because you are on this call today, I know very much so that you are most interested in your mental and spiritual well-being. I'm actually going to start off the lecture with a reading from the book Simple Abundance by Sarah Brambrathnich. And in this book, she has short segments that speaks to various topics. And we're going to start off with gratitude, awakening of the heart. There's a quote here by E.E. Cummins, and he states, "The eyes of my eyes are open." Has this ever happened to you? You picked up a book and a sentence leaps off the page as if it was written just for you? Or you hear a revelation in the lyrics of a song? Sometimes an angel seems to whisper in your ear. One ordinary morning, I realized I was emotionally and physically exhausted from concentrating on things I wanted to buy but couldn't afford. I felt trapped in a vicious cycle. The more I focused on lack and on what I couldn't have, the more depressed I became. The more depressed I became, the more focused on lack I was. My soul whispered that what I really yearned for was not financial security, but financial serenity. I was still, quiet enough to listen. At the moment, I acknowledged the deep longings in my heart. What I hungered for was for inner peace that the world couldn't take away. I asked for help and committed to following whosoever spirit would lead me. For the first time in my life, I discarded my 5-year goals and became a seeker, a pilgrim, a sojourner. When I surrendered my desire for security and sought serenity instead, I looked at my life with open eyes. I saw that I had much to be grateful. I felt humbled by my riches and regretted that I took for granted the abundance that already existed in my life. How could I expect more from the universe when I didn't appreciate what I already had? Immediately, I made an inventory of my life's assets. My health, a wonderful husband, a beautiful and happy daughter, their health, our home, small but comfortable, and 3 precious pets who daily bring me faithful companionship and great joy. There's always plenty of good food on the table and wine in the pantry. We were also blessed with many wonderful friends who care deeply about us and share in our lives. Once I started, my list grew. I truly believe that what you give to the world will be returned to you. Maybe not all at once or in the way you expected, but if you give your very best, the very best will come back to you. Now was the moment to live my beliefs. When I look at my life's ledger, I realized I was a very rich woman. What I was experiencing was merely a temporary cash flow problem. Finally, I came to an inner awareness that my personal net worth couldn't possibly be determined by the size of my checking account balance. Neither can yours. It doesn't matter how awareness arrives. What matters is that it comes. My heart begins to overflow with gratefulness. I started giving thanks for everything: daisies in the jelly jar on my kitchen windowsill, the sweet fragrance of my daughter's hair, the first sip of tea in the morning, pork roast with apples and cranberries for Sunday's supper, hearing the words "I love you" before I went to sleep. Each day began to offer me authentic moments of pleasure and contentment. But hadn't they before? The difference was that I was now noticing and appreciating each day's gifts. The power of gratefulness caught me by surprise. All I ask you to do today is open the eyes of your eyes and give your life another glance. Are your basic needs met? Do you have a home? Food on the table? Clothes to wear? Is there a regular paycheck coming in? Do you have dreams? Do you have health? Can you walk, talk, see the beauty that surrounds you? Listen to music that stirs your soul and make your feet want to boogie? Do you have family and friends whom you love and who loves you? Then pause for a moment and give thanks. Let your heart awaken to the transforming power of gratefulness. Be open to exchanging your needs for emotional and financial security for serenity. No trumpets sound when the most important decisions of your life are made. Agnes B. Miles reminds us, destiny is made known silently. This particular text I just read is actually full of highlights, but I'm actually going to speak to 3 statements that I feel is relevant to today's topic on self-fulfillment. I saw that I had much for which to be grateful. I felt humbled by my riches and regretted that I took for granted the abundance that already existed in my life. How could I expect more from the universe when I didn't appreciate what I already had? It is so easy to overlook all that we already have in our lives, all the abundance that we already have, and we should start paying attention and giving thanks for what we do have, because it is a part of how balance works. How can you expect more from the universe if you cannot appreciate what you have now? I truly believe that what you give to the world will be returned to you. Maybe not all at once or in the way you expected, but if you give your very best, the very best will come back to you. Many of us believe that what we put out will come back to us. It is much easier to point at other people and say, what they get, they will get back to them tenfold. But it's much harder to do so when we look at ourselves. We have to be mindful when putting out to the universe because it does come back. If you make a conscious effort to be good and genuine, it will come back to you in that form. It doesn't matter how awareness arrives. What matters is that it comes. Some of us may be truly inspired by various things that occur in our lives, and sometimes we get so caught up in the details of how things happen that we are missing out on the fact that it has already happened. It doesn't matter how you have come into awareness. All that matters is that it has happened. The lesson for today is very much so about gratitude, serenity, and awareness. Another way of saying it is being appreciative of all that we already have, being at peace with who we are and where we are in our lives, and being knowledgeable about these things. Self-fulfillment has everything to do with yourself, your thoughts, and how much you are at peace with yourself. I'm actually going to give you an activity to help you along in this self-fulfillment process. It is a daily dialogue scrapbook that you're going to keep.